Consumer education. Introduction. 1 of 6. With every paycheck you receive, money is taken out to pay your taxes. Withholding taxes is the amount paid by the employer out of your earnings as a prepayment of income taxes. If you have had more taken out than you owe, as determined when tax forms are filed in April, the money is refunded to you. If you haven't had enough taken out, then you will owe more money to the government in April.
The government's the big mob boss, you know. Now I'm still logged in my 444. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I'm gonna try going through this. So yeah, slipping
Additionally,
with the
if your company provides health
time.
insurance, there may be some money taken out to cover your responsibility for that. Sometimes, retirement or pension funds are also taken out of the check. The total amount made, gross, is very different from what you actually have in your pocket, net, at the end of the week. Irving has just received his first job. His first day on the job, he was provided many different forms. His new boss told him that filling out the paperwork correctly was extremely important and would impact the amount of his weekly checks and his overall income taxes. Irving had the following questions. What is the W-4 tax form? How should it be filled out? What does withholding mean for weekly paychecks? Key terms. Dependent, a person that you support. Exemption from taxes. Federal income taxes are not withheld by your employer because you earn such a small amount of money. Internal Revenue Service, IRS, the government agency that collects and records your pay. No tax liability. You earn such a small amount of money you don't pay taxes. W-4 form, a form called an employee's withholding allowance certificate, which allows employers to deduct money from your earnings for taxation. Withholding allowance is a number that indicates how many people you legally support with your paycheck. Withholding the money that is taken from your paycheck and paid to the government to pay your taxes. Medicare, a federal government-sponsored health insurance for the elderly that provides hospital insurance and or medical insurance.
Yep, and as a single man, they charge more taxes for me. You know, it is what it is. Single men have to pay more taxes here in America than a single woman. It's understandable. Us men, we got a bad history. Oh yeah. This is on my channel that I I'm gonna be more positive with this and that. Yeah. Sorry about that. I just a slip of the tongue. I gotta get this module done. So I'm sorry I slipped on the tongue.
Sample question. When determining the withholdings from your paycheck, you should consider which of the following. A. The size of the return you want to get in April. B. The number of dependents living in your home. C. The amount of the federal deficit. D. All of the above.
I think all above. Oh yeah, I got that wrong.
You selected D. The correct answer is B. Identifying how many people are considered dependents will have the largest impact on your net income.
2. Man, I'm getting a headache. Get my hair tied up, better untie my hair. Oh yeah, gotta tie my hair. Living on a prayer, cause my parents and other people that care about me praying for me. I'm living on a prayer. Oh yeah, this is good. They talk about tax farms. Oh yeah. I'm having this full screen. I'm not really seeing the live stream because gotta focus on this.
Consumer education. The W-4 form, withholding allowances. 2 of 6. When you start a new job, your employer will have you fill out a form called a W-4, Employees Withholding Allowance Certificate, which will allow him or her to take money from each of your paychecks to pay your taxes to
Employees.
the government. In order to provide the correct information to your employer, you need to learn a few specialized terms. Withholding. This is the money that is taken from your paycheck and paid to the government to taxes.
I don't know if in the Philippines they have this.
Taxes. Withholding allowances. This is a number that indicates how many people you legally support with your paycheck. The more people you support, the less money the government will take from you in taxes. Dependent. This is a person that you support. At this time in your life, you will have one dependent yourself. If you still live at home, you have no dependents because your parents pay for your food and housing. Internal Revenue Service, IRS. This is the government agency that collects and records your pay. Your employer collects payroll taxes by withholding money from your pay. This is a pay-as-you-go system of paying taxes, which enables the government to collect taxes at a steady rate rather than all at once. This system also benefits taxpayers, making their taxes more affordable by breaking up tax payments into smaller amounts rather than one lump sum at the end of the year. How much to withhold from your paycheck is determined by the information you provide on your W-4 form.
And guess what? Even if you do pay taxes like this here in America, you still got to fill out what you call income tax. Yearly income tax every year. So even if you fill out that W-4 form, you still got to fill out this income tax form. And a lot of people, they tend to pay someone else to fill it out. But it is what it is.
Form.
You feel this all.
You fill out this form when you start a job or anytime you want to change your allowances, reductions from withholding.
Now we're going to talk about the purpose of withholding. When you start a new job, you're going to have to fill out a W-4 form. You'll fill out a W-4 form for each employer that you work for. So if you work for more than one person, you'll fill out more than one W-4 form. What's the purpose of a W-4 form? The purpose is so that your employer will know how much to withhold from your check for tax purposes. The amount that they're going to withhold is based on three things. It's based on your marital status, your number of allowances that you claim, and your income. There's some words in there that possibly you may not understand. Withholding, all that means is the amount that they're going to withhold from your check for tax purposes that will be sent to the proper level of government. Some of the taxes that they might withhold would be federal income tax, state income tax, Social Security. Withholding allowances, that's the number of allowances that you can claim on your W-4. Now, you'll always have yourself, unless you're still living with your parents and your parents are providing over 50% of your income, then they are going to be claiming you as an allowance. So you cannot claim yourself until you become financially independent. What does the word dependent mean?
And therefore, they end up taking more taxes out of my paycheck as a result. That's how it is here in America. But at least I don't have to deal with checkpoints, wearing masks and face shield, and all that, you know.
Is someone that you help support. And here again, like I said, that is yourself. Internal Revenue Service, you'll hear that term many, many times. A lot of times you'll hear it referred to as the IRS. That is the government agency that collects and records your pay. In the United States, we have a pay-as-you-go or pay-as-you-earn system as one of the characteristics of our tax system. And what that means is that as you earn your income, your employer is going to withhold money out of your paycheck. Here again, based on the information on your W.
But you still have to fill out a tax. You still have to fill out an income tax form. Still, even though if you fill out those forms, you know, by the end of every year, if you make around $20,000 a year or so, you know, you got to fill out a income tax form, basically.
W-4. Then what is the employer going to do with that money? The employer is going to send that to the proper levels of government wherever it is supposed to go. The purpose is to break up the tax payment so that you don't have to make one big payment on April 15th when taxes are due, because that might be difficult to do, but you've had it taken out each paycheck as you earn the money. There also is a penalty if you don't pay the taxes that you owe. It could be in the form of interest or other ways that the government would find to penalize you if you do not have paid the amount of taxes that you owe.
Facts.
Tip. If at the end of the year you have not paid all of the taxes due, you may be subject to a penalty for failure to pay estimated tax. To prevent this, you can have more tax withheld by revising Form W-4, discussed later, or by making estimated tax payments. Consumer education. Withholding allowances. 3 of 6. How does my employer decide how much to withhold? Your employer generally uses information received from you to figure how much of your pay to withhold for federal income tax. When you get a job, one of the first things your employer will do is ask you to complete Form W-4. Click on the next button below to view the 3 types of information included in the W-4.
Okay, I might as well read this. Personal allowance worksheet. Keep your records. Enter one for yourself. No one else can claim you as a dependent. You're single to have only one job or one. Okay. Wages for your second job, your spouse's wage or the $1,500 or less. Enter one for your spouse, but you may choose to, if you are having two little tax withheld, enter number of dependents other than your spouse or yourself you'll claim on your tax return. If you file as head of household on your tax return, so you can just on the head of household above, at least $1,900 a child or dependent care expenses for which you plan to claim a credit. Note: do not include child support payments. Detailed child tax credit. Including additional child tax credit. Income will be less than $65,995 if married, and enter two for each eligible child. Then less one if you have 3 to 6 eligible children, less than 2, 7 or more eligible children. If your total income be between $65,000 and $84,000, $95,000 and $119,000 if married, enter one for each eligible child. Add lines A through G and enter total here. Now this may be different from the number of receptions you claim on your tax return. And it shows like letters here on this form. For accuracy, complete all worksheets that apply. If you plan to itemize or claim adjustments to income and want to reduce your withholding, see deduction adjustments worksheet on page 2. If you're single, have more than one job, or are married, you and your spouse both work in the combined all jobs exceed $40,000, $10,000 if married. See the two earners at multiple jobs worksheet on page 2. Avoid having too little tax withheld. Neither of the above situations apply. Stop here and enter the number from line H on line 5 of form W4 below. Add lines A through G and enter total here. Note this may be different from the number of receptions you claim on your tax return. For accuracy, complete all worksheets that apply. If you plan to itemize or claim adjustments to income and want to reduce your withholding, see deductions adjustments worksheet on page 2. If you are single and have more than one job, or married and you and your spouse both work in the combined earnings of all jobs exceed $40,000, $10,000 if married. You two owners has multiple jobs working to avoid having too little tax withheld if neither of the both situations are paying. Okay. So right here and give your form W4 to your employer. Keep the top part for your records. Employees withholding allowance certificate. Whether you are entitled to claim a certain number of allowances or exception from withholding is subject to review by the IRS. Your employer may be required to send a copy of this form to the IRS. First, middle initial, last name, your social security number, home address, number and street or rural route, city or town, state, zip code, single, married but withhold at higher single rate. Note: if married but legally separated or spouses a non-resident alien, click the single box. Your last name differs from that shown on your social security card. Check here. Total number of allowances you are claiming from the line H above, or from the applicable worksheet on page 2. Additional amount, if any, you want withheld from each paycheck. I claim possession from withholding for 2 both the following conditions or exceptions. Last year, I had the right to a refund of all federal income tax withheld because I had no tax liability. And okay, what does this do? This says where you indicate rate to be withheld. This where you indicate how many withholding allowances you claim. This is where you indicate if you like additional amount withheld. Okay. All right, gotta keep going.
Claiming withholding allowances. The personal allowances worksheet is page 1 of form W4. This page will help you figure out your withholding allowances. The worksheet is for your own records. You do not have to turn it in to your employer. Tip: the more allowances you claim, the less tax is taken out.
Yep. True. Oh yeah, this is the thing. Doing live streams, it doesn't seem like you can oh, you can share. I wonder if there's a pause button. Don't really see no pause button, it seems. So live streams can be shared, right? Man, I might as well. You know, this stuff's a pain. As you can see, I can't pause this and I gotta go pee. And I just shared it, you know? But anyways, oh shoot, I'm freaking stupid. Oh yeah, I'm dumb as, you know. Am I stupid or what? Well, anyways, I gotta go pee real quick. Then I'll continue. What did I not click on the? Okay, gotta click next page because it tends to have to log in, log back on. You can only leave this idle for only so long, and then you gotta, log back in again. And right now, I gotta go pee. I really gotta go. And it's up there, so be back. I'm back. And as you may have sensed, I'm not really looking at the live stream. I'm not really looking to see if anyone commented this or that because I'm focused on this. I have this full screen. And I forgot to brush my teeth. I'll do that later after this stream.
Withholding taxes. 4 of 6. Can I ask my employer not to withhold tax? Do you have a part-time job but earn less than $4,250? If so, you can ask your employer not to withhold income tax by claiming exemption from withholding if both of the following are true. For the previous tax year, you had a right to a refund of all income tax withheld because you had no tax liability. For the next calendar year,
Now, what they mean by withheld is tax that they take from you. That's what they mean. More taxes you pay is what I could get.
calendar year, you expect a refund of all income tax withheld because you expect to have no tax liability. You can claim exemption only if both of the above statements are true. Dependents. You cannot claim exemption from withholding taxes if someone will be able to claim you as a dependent on his or her tax return, or if your income will be over $750 and will include more than $250 of unearned income. Rachel Smith is a 19-year-old girl who is attending GED registered classes. Her parents pay most of her living expenses and claim her as a dependent on their tax return. In 2006, Rachel had a cashier grocery store. Rachel estimates that she will earn about $1,220 during the school year and about $3,420 during the summer. Also, she usually earns about $50 a year in interest on checking and savings accounts at a local bank. Her total income will be about $4,690. On Rachel's first day of work, her boss gives her Form W-4 to fill in. Rachel begins by reading the information and instructions above the Form W-4 certificate. She reads the information under exemption from withholding and the statement on line 7 of Form W-4. She notices the following information. She will have a right to a refund of all federal income tax withheld in the prior year because she had no tax liability. No tax liability means that she earns such a small amount of money that she is not required to pay taxes. But she expects to have a tax liability for the next year because her earned income will be more than $4,550. Rachel can file exempt on her W-4 form. Consumer education. Review. 5 of 6. A W-4 statement is a very important part of employment. Determining the correct deductions and understanding purpose of the withholding allowances as they relate to taxes is important. If you pay too many taxes from out of your paycheck check, you receive a refund. If you don't pay enough taxes, you are required to pay more taxes in April. The amount of taxes paid is based on how you fill out the information on the W-4 form when you begin a job.
Yeah, it seems like in the Philippines it's probably more simple to have a job because you don't have to do none of that filling up, W-4 form and all that. Or I don't know, It's hard to tell unless you actually been there. Plus times have changed, a lot has changed. So all right. All right.
An employee's withholding allowance certificate, which allows employers to deduct money from your earnings, is called taxes. W-4 form. W-2 form.
W.
No tax liability.
I think it's W-4 form.
Withholding is the money that is taken from your paycheck and paid to the government to pay your taxes. Amount you are required to pay in taxes. Government-sponsored savings account where they hold your money each year. Same amount as your tax refund. 3. Withholding allowances is based on the number of people you legally support with your paycheck, the number of people who live in your household, the amount of money you make, the amount of money you want taken out of your check.
Withholding allowances is based on, I think, the number of people legally support your paycheck. The IRS is the agency responsible collects and records your pay. Yep. No tax liability means you earn such a small amount of money you don't pay tax. Well, like any person can file except from this fall. Exceptions from taxes means, oh yeah, every year here in America you have to file in a federal income tax. Oh, that's what I was held from. Exception from taxes means, right. Federal income tax are not withheld. Medicare is a responsibility. Dependent is a spouse or child in your household you are financially supportive. Wow, I managed to get 100% on this. I'm shocked. I am really shocked. I managed to get a pretty good score on this. Oh yeah, I'm very shocked. Oh well, finish this. Anyways, many blessings. I think I'm gonna sign off. Many blessings.